Everyone, it's Libby from Maighstir Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Ngāti Kaurununu First Nations people on whose traditional lands these videos are made, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides, and the universal energies. I am inside today because it is blowing outside, and even the best of crystals would not be able to keep those cards anchored to the table. Okay, what I want to have a look at in this particular reading is I want to have a quick look at what's happening in Syria at the moment and going forward. Now, I'm using my Gilded Tarot Royale. If my phone goes, I will have to just pop you on pause for a moment, just waiting for some news in regards to my mum's blood tests yesterday, and we'll just see how it plays out. Okay, what I want to have a look at is so what's happening in Syria at the moment. The government that is in Syria, the, I suppose, technical government that's in Syria is being led by Bashir al-Assad. He is a Russian-Iranian-backed government that he inherited the position of leader from his father. So we're talking about a patriarchal dictatorship here, an autocratic, not even fake elections. It's literally a patriarchal monarchy in Syria. Now, what's happened in Syria is back in 2011, there were peaceful pro-democracy protests being held. However, the Bashir al-Assad government, backed by Russia at the time, clamped down on those protests, and despite several attempts at ceasefire, it's basically descended into civil war for the last 13 years between the two factions, the Russian-backed dictatorship monarchy versus the rest, so to speak. So what's happened is 12 million people have been displaced in Syria. We've all seen photographs and videos of the destruction that has happened in Syria. But what's happened recently, so the Bashir al-Assad government is also, so they're backed by Russia, the Iranian regime, and also the Lebanese Hezbollah have been backing the regime there. What's happened with distractions elsewhere, the rebels, the pro-democracy rebels, although they have had a leaning towards the religious Al-Qaeda. So it's one of those, are they going to swap a brutal regime for a brutal dictatorship regime for a brutal religious regime if the rebels get the upper hand? So what's happening is Assad is blaming the West. There have been rumours that he and his family fled to Russia. However, they are unconfirmed. So the new coalition leader that is leading the rebels is Tahrir al-Sham. So I'll just call him al-Sham versus al-Assad. The rebels have taken the second largest city of Aleppo. Sorry that I'm looking all awfully washed out here. It's difficult to get the lighting right. I do apologise. I'll be home next week and the lighting will be fine then. The sun is coming and going from behind the clouds outside. Doing my best, people. What's happened is the rebels have taken the second largest city of Aleppo. Apparently it's incredibly calm in the city, with reports of the fighters even queuing up to get some takeaway chicken, etc. But they are also now pushing towards the main city in Syria. This has popped out, this card, the High Priestess. Now, is it a hidden agenda or is it about a higher spiritual power? Okay, so that one's deliberately popped out. I'll put that as the signifier. I hadn't even formed a question. But tell me what's the energy of Syria? I'm going to do the energies of Syria. Show me the energies of Syria. Apparently Russian fighters are still undertaking airstrikes on the rebel forces. However, the Russian the Russian military is stretched incredibly thin at the moment. Sorry about that. Just pick those up. Just too many cars just fell out. That's just slop. Oh, interestingly though, I've got the mercenary card here. The mercenary card, while I was talking about the Russian forces, the mercenary, the determination to win at any cost, picking up the swords from the battlefield. But it feels like a bit of a story here. The mercenaries are finding themselves on this barren battlefield and they're desperately having to defend themselves. So let's have a look. The mercenaries, we're talking about the Lebanese Hezbollah, we're talking about the Russians having to be pulled out. Oh, look at these two as well. I've then got the Five of Cups, the attempted steal, but then we've got Mother Russia as well. So I'm feeling that I might put that card back and I'll change my question. Is Bashir al-Assad, is his government finding themselves abandoned? Because I'm really getting a feel that the Russian, even the fighter jets, are going to pull out very, very shortly. As for what's going on in Russia, yeah, as much as it saddens me, the North Korean troops, when I read on that, I just saw them absolutely getting annihilated, as in, rushing a machine gun nest and just the troops piling up. Well, yes, they are. It's just awful, awful, awful. Strengthen the vote, which is interesting. Strength for voters. So, how's what's going on in Syria? Massive, massive rebuilding is going to be required. How is what's going on in Syria now? This is all part of this chaos, instilling chaos. I'm talking about 12 million displaced. I mean, these people have to go somewhere, women, children, elderly. I think 4 million of them have flooded across into Turkey over the years, something along those lines. They've got to go somewhere. They can't stay, couldn't stay where they were. So this is the biggest cause of mass migration, human migration, is war. The second biggest is climate change. But how's this going to go for Bashir al-Assad? What's happening in Syria? Show me what's happening in Syria. How's it going to go for al-Assad? And then I'll have a look from the rebel leader's point of view. How is Syria going from al-Assad's point of view? Okay, right. This one fell out as well, the Six of Cups. The past, the emotions of the past, okay, how's it going for al-Assad? He wanted what it was like under his father's regime, I'm going to say. Now, I don't know what it was like under his father's regime. I didn't look it up. I imagine it was probably pretty brutal for everybody except for the upper echelons. But he hankers for times past. Challenging him is the stealing. Okay, thank you. I'm getting that somebody's coming in and taking all the armory and only leaving him with the two swords left, taking off with 5 of them. I would say this is the Lebanese Hezbollah withdrawing. This is the Russians withdrawing their support. Iran's got its own issues going on at the moment. So his challenge is the withdrawal of defences, how's he feeling? Feeling like he's trapped, feeling confined, trapped. I don't know that he's in Russia. It was just a rumour. I know the news media leapt on it and reported it as if it's fact, but it's still not been confirmed. But yeah, he's just finding himself ever increasingly entrapped by the rebel army. In the past, we've got the Justice card. Is it justice being brought to Al-Assad for what he has done in the past, back in 2011, with setting the military onto the peaceful pro-democracy? Actions have consequences. In the past, his actions having consequences. Crowning this, how's it going for Al-Assad? I'm just going to say he's getting stopped. The wheel of fortune is turning on him. The money's getting shaken out. Yeah. Betrayal, heartbreak, loss, grief. How's it going for him? Not good in the immediate future. Externally, he and his family might find themselves trapped. As internally, it's just all falling down around him. The crown, I'm going to say a patriarchal dictatorship, monarchy, because it was handed from father to son. The crown is being exploded off. So this is not going well for him. Absolutely. Hopes and fears, the circle of support. Russia, Iran, Lebanon, Hezbollah. It's a hope, it's fear. He's hoping they'll come to his rescue, but he fears they won't. It's going to be brutal fighting. How's it going to go for him? 6 of Wands. He may claim victory, but it's going to be very uncomfortable. There's actually nobody cheering him, no support, as the sword of truth and peace comes forward. Some sort of ceasefire agreement. Secrets are brought to the surface and exposed. Information is being brought forward. He's made an offer that he cannot refuse. It's a nightmare offer for him. And he's got this paranoia going on. Now, why, when I read on these guys, I always get this frog in my throat? I think it's going to be some sort of victory that will bring a ceasefire, a negotiation, secrets being revealed, information being brought forward, so that he's basically backed into a corner. It's a paranoid nightmare situation, but he's going to be made an offer that he can't refuse. We've got the Temperance here, pouring from cup to dispel the toxicity. It's just going to be really burdensome. There's a harsh truth coming forward, and then a new beginning for government. Right, so, oh dear, frog in my throat. I don't think it's going to go well for him at all. I think he's on the losing side. He's hoping that his past allies, will come to his rescue. I don't think they will. The 5 of Wands will be the rebels. Yeah, I don't think Russia's going to come to his rescue, because they've got issues on their own home front, including the ruble going through the floor, and huge losses in this war for Ukraine. Yeah, the partnerships are just falling apart. Just going to say, the partnerships are just falling apart. He's going to be on the losing side. So show me how it's going to go for Al-Sham. Al-Shaim. Is it Al-Shaim? How is what's happening in Syria? And what does the future hold for Al-Shaim? He's the leader of the rebels. And then I'll just do Syria itself, because, to be honest, swapping a dictatorship leadership for a religious leadership is not necessarily a win for the people of Syria. Al-Shaim, how's this going to go? What's happening in Syria at the moment? How's it going to go for Al-Shaim, leader of the rebels? Right, you want that one. Okay. Well, here's that Justice card again on the bottom. How's it going to go? Powerful new start, new plan, new beginning. Be careful what you wish for, though. It's not necessarily all as it seems. It can be the wish fulfillment, but I'm always, 3 wishes. Be careful what you wish for. The old Midas touch, be careful what you wish for card, is the challenge. So it looks like the rebels are going to get the upper hand and be victorious, but okay, at the foundation, protection, homeland security, healing, nurturing, etc. at the base, manifestation in the past, being able to bring this. Here is the new ruler coming forward. He does, Queen and King, they can be about healing and protection, but it can also be the oligarchs. Loss, despair, heartbreak in the immediate future. 3 cups spilt, 2 still upstanding with this tree to be harvested. It's about, this is the minor arcana death card, about a significant change that will herald a new beginning by harvesting the light from the tree with these 2 new cups. How's it going to go for Al Shaim? Emotional loss, perhaps? Something's different here. I'm getting something different. Here's the Page of Pentacles externally for him. A new offer of this new beginning coming forward, because internally here's dealings behind the scenes. Can also be rebuilding in the forge, but he is by himself here. There isn't the 3 working together. So this could be some dark dealings, the hopes and fears, the control, swapping one regime for another, burdensome message trying to flog uphill, but then a new message being brought forward as a harsh truth is revealed about a hidden agenda. He may find himself, he might find himself exposed as well. We've got oligarchical money, and then we've got the voters and the sword of truth. Legal, I'm going to say legal prosecution, there's a money trail here, exposing the snake in the path, and he's forced to withdraw. Justice, heartbreak, loss, despair, stealing, having to surrender that messaging. Not necessarily cards for him either. I am thinking that he's going to be victorious, but I don't think he's going to be, I don't know that he's going to last as the ruler, because there's a big difference between the leader of a military and the leader of a democratic country. I think he's going to bring victory in the conflict, but I don't think he's going to find himself installed as leader of Syria going forward. So show me Syria itself going forward. Show me Syria itself going forward. Show me Syria. Syria itself. I actually feel this incredible calm and freedom. I think Syria is going to end up a democracy, but boy, there's so much turmoil in the world at the moment. It's almost like it's coming to we've got it like it's coming to a head, like a really bad pimple type thing just before it gets popped. Then there was the next 2 cards were my Harris card and the 2 of Wands. Show me Syria going forward. Show me Syria going forward. What do we need to know? Syria going forward. Come on down. Have a look. Right. So here is Al-Shaim taking control. Challenged by stable government, perhaps, or challenged by his mercenary actions. We've got feminine strength at the base here, compassionate feminine strength. in the past, the loss of life. I mean, what was it? 500,000 at least have lost their lives in this conflict. It's in the past. Syria going forward, women finding themselves. I really feel like they're swapping a dictatorship, patriarchal regime for a religious regime straight up, but I don't think women are going to stand for it. The strength of the feminine. They're going to find themselves restricted. The immediate future is be careful what you wish for. However, externally, the light is being shone on the path forward. The snakes are getting themselves revealed, and then we have internally a huge new start of healing and strengths. Internally, huge new start. Hopes and fears. The world becoming involved, but this is a global new start is what I'm getting there. Global new start. So we've got the Page of Swords. The fight's not over yet. The youth and the women. We've got the Nine of Wands, boundaries being set up and having to surrender to those boundaries with the new plan. The end of the oligarchical patriarchy. And money that came in from overseas, as we've got again this feminine energy picking up these swords and moving forward where there is balanced partnerships, contracts, agreements that will allow them to manifest their future going forward. Can also be manipulation about this control, but then we have the female message coming forward. Significant endings, new beginnings, a judgment moment, a collective awakening about past. A lot of information coming forward that just brings heartbreak, loss, an offer being made, the birth of something significantly new, the feminine energy coming forward, volatile message coming forward, volatile information coming forward that is going to shine a light, expose the dark night of the soul, and then we've got the new plans coming forward. I really feel the future of Syria is part of this bigger picture. And it is about the rise of the feminine energy. Now, I'm not saying female, even though it is very often a female-based energy. It is the energy of compassion, the energy of empathy, the energy of community and working together, not alienating. The future of Syria is intricately tied in with the global energy. That's my. I'm going to have to look at those messages. I'm just going to say it's part of a bigger picture. It's part of the bigger picture. I do fear that in the short term, they are swapping this patriarchal dictatorship for a religious dictatorship, but that religious dictatorship is not going to last. I'm being told Afghanistan and Iran are in that mix with the religious dictatorships failing. It's not an overnight. It is a process, but it is a process where we are. It's almost like you can feel the energy. It is a global change that is coming. 5 years. Yeah, I'm getting 5 years. I was going to say 10 years, but I'm not feeling 10 years. I'm feeling that it's a 5-year process. Okay, love to you all. Take care.